In this video, I'm going to share with you how to get the attention and interest of your ideal clients. If you're a consultant, it's never been more difficult to stand out in the marketplace. Regardless of your industry or where you are in the world, there are more options, more choices, more alternatives, and more people vying for the attention. Think about the number of emails that you receive on a given day. Imagine a busy executive inside of an organization. Their inboxes are being flooded with hundreds of emails every single day. There's a barrage of phone calls, text messages, emails from LinkedIn. Essentially, they're being barraged nonstop, right, every day of the week. And then there's you. You need to get the attention and interest of your ideal client. So how do you do that? Well, you do that with an effective value proposition, what we often refer to as a magnetic message. The purpose of this message is to very concisely explain and communicate who you are and what you do and why your ideal client should actually care, right? You want to get their attention and their interest, because if you don't get their attention and their interest, they're not going to know that you exist. You can be a very skilled consultant. You know how to deliver great results for your clients. But if prospective clients don't know that you exist because they're not seeing you, you're not on their radar, then there's no chance of them engaging with you. The purpose, again, then, of your magnetic message, or your value proposition as some people describe it, is to put that message in front of the marketplace so that people actually start to pay attention to who you are, right? You get on their radar, and now when they know who you are and what you do, if they have a need for that, they're going to reach out to you. There's a few different ways to think about developing your value proposition. At the core, it's all about differentiation. In order for you to stand out, you can't be lumped in as being the same as everybody else. So let's talk about layers of specialization, because this is a process and kind of an exercise that you can go through to help you to see how to actually differentiate yourself, how to stand out, how to position yourself as a specialist. You'll find that some people will tell you that as a consultant, you don't need to be a specialist, you can be a generalist. And while that is true, that there are some people who have very successful consulting businesses and they kind of approach the market as a generalist, the vast majority of people who are successful in this business do it through specialization. Again, because there are more choices, there's more noise, there's more alternatives, there's more companies, right? There's more consultants than ever before. If everybody is providing everything, there's nothing that makes you unique. There's nothing that helps you to stand out. And that's where specialization comes in. So let's talk about the levels of specialization, right? At the bottom, you have the generalist. And this would be you essentially saying that you are a consultant, or we'll go even one step further, saying that you are a marketing consultant. Now, how many people describe themselves as marketing consultants, right? A lot, which means that you just saying that you're a marketing consultant really doesn't do anything for you. There's no benefit for you to say that, because you're just lumping yourself in with everybody else. The next level above that would be a specialized generalist. So instead of saying that you are just a marketing consultant, maybe you say that you are a content marketing consultant. Now, that's much better than saying that you're a marketing consultant, because you're saying what area of marketing you have expertise in, right? You're not just saying I can do all different things around marketing. You're saying I have more experience. I have develop skills in the area of content. Well, that's going to be helpful. If you go a level above that, now you become a specialist. And so the positioning of a specialist would be from going from the marketing consultant to the content marketing consultant to the content marketing consultant for accounting firms. So you see now, by going that one level up, you're not saying that you create content for anyone. You're saying that you specialize in creating content for accounting firms. And so now you're creating kind of that aura and that positioning of being a specialist, of being an expert, of understanding the uniqueness, the challenges, right, the problems, the situations that an accounting firm owner or executive would likely be going through. And so when you show up and you say, I am a content marketing consultant for accounting firms, that's who I specialize in working with, compared to somebody just saying, I'm a marketing consultant or I'm a content marketing consultant, right? Think about the owner of an accounting firm. Who do you believe they would think is more valuable to them, right? Most likely the specialist who is an expert in working with accounting firms like them. And then you have even a level up, which would be the ultra specialist. And this would be the content marketing consultant for example, international tax and accounting firms, right? And so you can be successful at all levels of specialization, but the majority of consultants will see success by focusing in on that specialist level. Because not only are you saying what you specialize in doing, kind of what your expertise is, but you're also saying who you are an expert in working with. Now, some people have a challenge with that, right? They think about, well, I don't want to specialize in one industry, or I've worked in different industries. And so that's a real kind of, very common challenge that people have. The way to think about that is you can specialize by industry, or you can specialize by type of client that you work with. So you might say, with our previous example, that you are an expert in doing content marketing for accounting firms, right? That's specialist. You might also say that you are an expert in creating content, for CMOs or for marketing departments. And so the idea is if you can get very clear about who your ideal client is, in this case, a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, that means that you can communicate to them with your messaging, with your content, with everything that you do, because you can essentially signal to them and show them that you understand what they are going through. Whereas if you say that, you work with CMOs and CSOs and CFOs and CEOs and COOs, and right, it now becomes much broader, and now you're moving down those kind of levels of specialization to a bit more of a generalist, because the challenges that a CMO have are going to be different than challenges and top of mind issues that a CFO has, and definitely different than what a manager or a director, right, or somebody lower level kind of in the organization has. So the idea behind developing a really effective magnetic message or value proposition is that you want to apply focus. You want to start to specialize. The next step then is to start to apply a formula. And I'll share with you one formula that you can use to develop a message that will help you to get the attention and interest of your ideal clients. We do a lot of this kind of work with our clients inside of our Clarity coaching program. So if you're looking for a personalized plan and you'd like to get feedback on your specific situation, your messaging, work through that and get help with it, then click on the link below the video here somewhere on the page, and that'll take you to consultingsuccess.com and a page where you can learn more about how we can support you and help you to get all that dialed into your business. But now let's talk about developing your message and the formula for that. So the first part of this formula is to identify who. Right? The first W is who. So who are your ideal clients? Who is the person that you truly want to work with and serve? And the reason why it's helpful to start with this is because the moment that you share who that person is, the person who hears that or reads it, if it's them, they're going to take notice. Right? If I just say, I do content marketing, well, that could impact a lot of potentially different people, but it's not going to resonate with them if as an example, if I said, we work with accounting firms and help them with their content marketing, right? If that's a hypothetical, just an example. But now if the person that is reading that ad or reading that article, or I meet at an event and they're from an accounting firm, right away, right, their ears are going to perk up and they're going to be interested, because they're going to think, well, like, you're talking to me, that's my specific situation. So start with who, right? Who do you help? And I'll share a couple of examples here with you in just a moment, but who do you help? The second W in the formula is what. And so that stands for what problems do they have? What are the top of mind issues for them? And what results will they generate or see, and benefits will they have by solving those problems, okay? And that's important because you want to not only speak to the specific person, but you also want to tap into the conversation that is going on in their mind, right? What problems, what challenges are they having right now, right? What's top of mind for them? And then what do they care about? Oftentimes, people have a problem they're thinking about, but they're excited about the solution and the benefit they'll get from actually solving that problem. So maybe they want to reduce, right, or eliminate employee turnover inside of their organization. Maybe a lot of people are leaving, they're not able to keep good people for very long, and they want to do that because they want to make more progress, but they also want to do that because they want to grow revenue, and they know that they're not able to meet their revenue goals because they have top performers or people that have the potential to become a top performer not staying in the organization long enough. So you could speak to, in that case, who your ideal client is. Speak to if you're dealing with with high employee turnover and you'd like to, right, kind of fill in the blank, but so that you can grow your sales or reach your ambitious goals and targets, right? If that was the problem and the result that an ideal client had, then that would likely resonate with them. That would get their attention and interest. So now they want to have a conversation with you. There's another W, which stands for why, and that simply means why you. What makes you unique? And inside of a message, you may include the why component. It might be who you've worked with, organizations, results, so on and so forth. But there can also be the application of through kind of context. So imagine you have a message on your website, you might have some logos of clients you've worked with, or you might have a list of results that you've created, accomplishments that support that message. And so that would help to speak to why you, right? Again, we're in an age that is crowded. There's a lot of disruption, there's a lot of noise. So how do you cut through that? Well, you show your ideal client that you are not the same as everybody else. And that's why the third W, the why, right? Why should they choose you? Why should they pay attention to you is so important. So now let's go ahead. I'm going to bring up a few examples, and then I'll talk about one other thing that is really important for you to keep in mind. So the first example comes from Mike over at Blueprint Partners. Mike was an amazing client we did work with several years back, and he's just a great guy. Mike's message, when you go to his website, says unbeatable ops. It says, we help consumer brands build operations that scale. So if you're a consumer brand and if you're dealing with operations, maybe there's operational challenges, supply chain issues, logistics, fulfillment, and you want to scale, right? Maybe you're just getting a lot of demand and you're having challenges to meet that demand through all those areas. Well, Mike is your guy, right? That's where he has a lot of deep expertise. And then he has a list of different challenges on the website, areas that they help their clients with. He talks about their solutions, but that's a very clear, very concise message, right? We help consumer brands build operations that scale. Here's another one. So this is Nick over at Build Up Advisory Group. Nick and her team, they do wonderful work. Nick is an amazing person. She was a real joy to work with as well. She was also a client inside of our Clarity coaching program. And so her message says, Build Up Advisory Group supports brave nonprofits and philanthropies to scale their impact by strengthening their grant-making, governance, and organizational structure. So you can see these are very different industries, but also very clear messaging, right? They support brave nonprofits and philanthropies to scale their impact by strengthening their grant-making, governance, and organizational structuring. Those are going to be the issues that are top of mind for Nick and her team's, right, ideal clients. And I'll offer you one more here. So this is Martin from On Target, and his message here says the large text. And now again, this is translated from German into English. So the German will probably be even more compelling and powerful, but essentially the high level message says get better results from good strategies. Now that's kind of the headline. The real message is right below that on his website, and it says we help medium-sized industrial and technology companies to focus on the key success drivers in order to achieve sales and earnings targets even in uncertain times. Now I can tell you that message in German, I'm sure, is much more compelling. That is a little Google Translate. But the reason I wanted to pull that up is, again, we've worked with Martin for many years. He's created a very, very successful business. And he's saying right away who his ideal clients are, right? Mid-sized industrial and technology companies. That's who he does fantastic work with. They're dealing with uncertain times. They are looking for strategies and guidance and KPIs, right? And somebody to help them to grow strategically. And Martin does fantastic work in that area. So a few examples to share with you. If you want to see even more examples, then click the link below the video here or go over to consultingsuccess.com. You can click on the client results page and you'll see a lot of different kind of case studies, testimonials, examples of clients who have gone through this process and applied very successful messaging into their marketing materials, into their website, their LinkedIn profiles, all those different places to help to start generate more leads and to create more conversations as a result of that. Now, I want to mention one other thing, which is you might be wondering, well, how will I know that my messaging will work? And that's where validation comes in. So the validation and testing part of developing your value proposition and your magnetic message is really important, right? If you are earlier stage in your business, then you may not know, what are the challenges, what are the main problems. And so that will require you to do a bit of research, which you can do online, but there's also the best kind of research, which is to talk to people who are your ideal clients, right? Go out and have conversations, do some of that research to find out, right? Ask those questions, then incorporate that messaging and that language into your message, because you want to use language that your ideal clients use. You don't want to use jargon or acronyms or all different things if your ideal clients are not using that. The purpose of your message, the sole purpose of developing your magnetic message, right, that value proposition, is so that your ideal clients pay attention to it, right? It gets their attention, it gets their interest. They want to have a conversation with you. You do not and should not try and communicate everything that you can possibly do. You simply want to focus on what will get the attention and interest of your ideal clients so they want to learn more. So you go out, you start having conversations, you share your messaging, you see how it people kind of react to it and resonate with it, or if they don't, you pay attention to the language, the words that they're using, you try and incorporate that more right back into your messaging, and you go back again and do that over. Now I can tell you that, you know, we've worked with consultants for, well, we've run our own consulting businesses for over 2 decades. We've worked with consultants for about 14 years now at Consulting Success, and we've seen the evolution. We have some clients that are still, you know, in our coaching programs 5, 6, 7 years later, and I can tell you that they adjust right their messaging on a regular basis as they see new opportunities, as their business model changes, as they decide to focus in on more, you know, one type of client or service offering. And so your business, your message, I should say, and value proposition will evolve. It's natural. You're not creating a message to be set in stone and never change again. You will have the opportunity to change. The most important thing is that you develop the message following this kind of a structure. You go out, you test it, right? You validate it, you see how it's resonating with people, and then you use it or you make adjustments from there. So there you have it. Again, we have plenty more resources on the YouTube channel here. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell button so you'll be notified. We are putting out a lot more video content here recently, and I'd love to get your feedback. Drop a comment. Let me know if this video was helpful. Let me know if you have other questions about developing a value proposition. I will check all of the comments that come in. And again, head over to consultingsuccess.com. Click on the link here just below. That'll take you to a page that you can get a lot more information. And we have a lot of additional resources to help you grow your consulting business over at the site.